Hello everyone, Redbeard here, back at it again with another weekly roundup. For this week, we'll be talking about, you guessed it, Festus. We had his reveal trailer, we had the reveal of his starting position for at least Immortal Empires, but we also had the Let's Play leak. Guess what? CA leaked it on themselves again. Uploaded it and then took it down, but that wasn't before forums and everything could get a hold of it, so I will be talking about it because I'm not a big channel, and I have every right to. So, anyways, so we'll also talk about his start position as far as the Realms of Chaos goes. I won't go too much into Realms of Chaos. I know people don't want to hear me talk about that, and I don't want to talk about that. Who cares about Realms of Chaos, right? We are here for Immortal Empires, baby. But yeah, so we'll talk about Festus, and I got some screenshots of the Let's Play, and we'll talk about some of the things we saw there. So yeah, let's dive into it now. The blog is short and sweet, so let's go through that first. Dr. Festus is a deranged devotee of Nurgle, who pledged a lifetime of service to the Blade God in return for his forbidden knowledge. He goes to war with few intentions beyond furthering his revolting studies of sickness, ailments, and plagues. It is a far better fate to die on the battlefield than to be captured for the doctor's experiments. On the battlefield, long forgetting the Hippocratic oath he so vehemently preached as a mortal, Festus can be found concocting a variety of horrific potions and unleashing lore of Nurgle spells, both of which allow him to manipulate the battlefield in insidious ways, while his healing elixir's ability replenishes hit points of his own combatants. The Harbinger of Pestilence ability instead deals damage to enemy combatants. Yet, there's a catch. Both act more like toggleable passive abilities that are mutually exclusive to use, meaning that only one of the two can be active at any one time. So, if you look at this image here, you can see the two abilities. So on the bottom left, you'll see 4 bound abilities. The first and fourth are from items. We're not talking about those. The second and third are the bound abilities that the blog is talking about. The second one, they both have the image of Festus on them. The second one has the plus sign and has a green theme. That's the healing one. The third one is like a chaos symbol and a red theme, and that's the Mortis Engine damage dealing over time ability. So, for Festus's faction effects, vassals can gain poison attacks and spread Nurgle's corruption. This could be very powerful with the new Warriors of Chaos mechanics of vassalization, seeing as you might have a lot of them as you come closer to the end game. All of their armies and getting poison attacks and spreading Nurgle's corruption could be very powerful. Festus's faction can also brew plagues, just like the Nurgle Monogod faction. And we'll get back to that in a second. Plus 25 souls when a plague is spread. So, as you can see in this image, we have the Plague Cauldron mechanic, and Festus he has some unique plagues from what we can see. So the first one, base plague, is Festus's Ague, which plague effects are infections plus 10 when plague is spread, Nurgle corruption plus 4 in local province, plague effects on settlements, growth plus 20. Then we have Festus's Rot, another base plague, which has the is that the same as the other one? No, it's not. Which has plus 5 infections when plague is spread, plus 2 Nurgle corruption, and the plague effects on armies are souls gained from battles plus 15%, and Nurgle authority plus 1, plague effects on armies minus 8. So this effect will be good for Realms of Chaos, I think, and that mechanic for Zen by Jin. I don't know if this mechanic will be as good in Mortal Empires, but we don't know how the souls will help you buy units from the Gifts of Chaos, so I suppose it's still pretty good. Whereas the first one is focused on growth, so when you're trying to build up your provinces. Whereas the second one will be better for building up armies, it seems like, and buffing your armies. So then we have one recipe shown, that is Nurgle's Rot. And the base plague is Festus's Rot, and the symptoms are limb blight and constant vomiting. I'm not sure if those are Festus unique or if Kugath had those as well. I can't quite remember. But the plague effects on all armies and settlements: plague duration plus 5 turns, Nurgle corruption plus 4 in the local province, chance of a plague spreading plus 15%, and the plague effects on armies: physical resistance plus 21%, which is quite high. Very, very powerful recipe. Then last thing, we have one of the symptoms shown being weeping eyes. So the plague effects on armies, range negative 10% and accuracy minus 20%. Again, I can't remember if this was something that Kugath had, but it was shown in the Let's Play, so... finally, we have the Lord effects, plague duration plus 3 turns for local armies, and the battle healing clap. Battle healing cap. You might get the clap from Nurgle, who knows? Battle healing cap plus 25%, Lord's army. That is extremely powerful. Nurgle is already a very powerful healing faction. You know, it's kind of like the Vampire Counts, where you are meant to grind out, getting these long grindy fights where you're just healing. And in apparently Festus's army is going to get plus 20. That is a quarter of their healing cap, which is pretty powerful. Very powerful indeed. Also short and sweet, and we can get it over quick. The starting positions. So for the most important one, let's go over Mortal Empires, which we all knew one of the champions of Chaos would land in the Brass Keep. It's just too good. And as I predicted, who better than Festus himself? It's very loreful to his origins in Nordland, and basically all of his lore finds him in the Empire. He does wander into the Chaos Wastes when he first becomes a Nurgle follower, but then I think he goes back to the Empire and basically works in the shadows and to abduct people for his experiments. And then, in the end times, eventually finds himself in Altdorf as well. So yeah, really love his Immortal Empire's position. Having a chaotic start within the Empire is going to be a whole lot of fun. For the Realms of Chaos start position, we will be starting in the newly anointed land of Albion. Now, for the Let's Play, it starts at turn 30 with Festus with a full stack attacking Shentalon, which is a new region in the newly anointed province of Corone, I believe, or the newly anointed Bretonnian land, at least. So I took the time to, in a Scrag campaign, run up the coast so that you could see that the land stops at Breckwater and doesn't continue up, and there's no Bretonnian land, there's no Albion, there's no nothing. As you can see here, just rocks for Albion, nothing inhabitable. So now we see some expansion to the Realms of Chaos map, which we are to expect basically probably every DLC patch, and maybe in the Immortal Empires too, depending on what the DLC is, what the factions are, what the races are. Now, we don't see Festus's starting army, being that the Let's Play starts at turn 30, but we can judge what it probably is off of Azazel's starting army. So Azazel starts with 1 chosen with Hell Scourges, chosen of Slaanesh. Then we have 2 chosen of 2 Chaos Warriors of Slaanesh with Sword and Shield, 2 regular Marauders, 1 Hell Strider with Hell Scourges, and 1 Chimera. Being that's his starting army, we probably say that the 4 champions all have similar starting armies. Festus would probably have the Chosen with great weapons, chosen of Nurgle. Then the 2 Chaos Warriors of Nurgle, I think the regular ones that are Axe and Shield, I believe. 2 regular Marauders. Then the last 2 are a little harder to judge, but my guess would probably be the Beast of Nurgle and the Chaos Warhounds. seeing as the giants and the dragon ogres you can get from Gifts of Chaos, and then the Chaos Spawn and Trolls you can probably get from upgrading in the war bands or something. I hope not Chimera, because Azazel already has Chimera. But yeah, probably Beast of Nurgle, Chaos Warhounds with Poison, maybe Giant and Chaos Warhounds with Poison. So for the rest of the video, I'm going to be going over just some quick notes on some of the screenshots, some of the still images we see. So for the first one, I'd like to talk about Festus and his stats. So overall, they look incredible. They look exactly how I think they would be. So for his health, in this image, it's currently at 4,585, which is about 2/3 of his health bar. Which, if we do the math, lands him around 7,000 health, which is pretty great for a tanky Nurgle character. The only other thing is his weapon strength, which is at 380. So in lore, he is a very strong individual, being able to take on the likes of Luan Leoncoeur and Vlad von Karstein. So if we look at the stats, because if we look at, so you can kind of compare him to dwarves. If we look at the stats for dwarves, 7,000 health is pretty good comparatively to dwarves, which, I mean, it's a Nurgle character, it should be. If we look at Thorgrim, he's got 7,708. That's mostly due to his shield bearers, but Grombrindle has 6,620. He's kind of like a demigod, but again, so if we compare that against Festus, pretty good. The only other thing is if we look at their weapon strength. The weapon strength for Festus is at 380, which if we look at the Dwarf Lords is not very comparable. The weakest of the dwarves, Thoric, is at 400 weapon strength, while the strongest of the dwarves is at 500 with Grombrindle and Thorgrim. Now, dwarf characters are supposed to be very strong in lore, but so are Nurgle characters. Again, Festus was able to duel and defeat Luan and Vlad, and this was due to his strength. So I believe that Festus and Nurgle characters should be comparable to the strength of dwarves at least. I get that he's a spellcaster and has a lot of cool abilities, but can we at least bump him up to 400 weapon strength? Like bare minimum? But yeah, I am running out of time to make this video. They take a lot of time. And I have a lot of other things to do in my life. So, I'm afraid I can't talk about everything else in the images, but I will leave them here in a sort of slideshow format to just have you, that you can peruse through, or you can end the video now if you don't care to see those. So first, let's start with the Chaos, the units, some stills from the units. Now some stills of the Chaos Lord of Nurgle and the Undivided Lord's skill tree. Now for some shots of settlements and the structures within. This first one, particular interest, gives 600 favor at tier 1. Now some shots from the war band upgrades. Now some shots of the tech tree. Now some shots of post-battle options. Now battle shots. Now for Festus in battle. I particularly like this one where he's doing like a Kamehameha on a guy. Dragon Ball Z style. This section we'll just call the many faces of Festus. This section we have Epic Festus. Lastly, I could not forget to put in some shots of Festus's cool boy. Now we briefly see an image of a rat in the trailer. Now, like Chekhov's gun, they usually don't put anything into the any details into the trailer that aren't for a reason. So I wonder if this is alluding to some new Skaven mechanics coming in Immortal Empires, possibly connected to Nurgle. Maybe we'll see Clan Pestilence be able to use some version of the plague mechanic. Probably not. Maybe he'll get his own unique version. We don't think that's coming in Immortal Empires for Clan Pestilence, but who knows? We haven't quite got those details yet, so we'll see. Now that's really all I have time for today. I am going to be late for an obligation because I was trying to make sure this video was finished and published before I left. So, if you guys enjoyed this, I hope you did. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell notification. You get notifications, yada, yada, yada. All right, see you guys later. Bye.